And we're back with Fathers Roche and Chang, and we're going to talk a little bit about how they came to establish the St. Yves community. But we're going to go back to the saint question, and we talked about, you know, who your devotion was to. And tell us a little bit, Father Chang, about what we were discussing in the break.
Actually, I have a huge devotion to St. Yves. I think he's an inspiring saint, really present in my life, inspiring me how to relate with people, to pray, and also to serve the church.
Sure.
Although he was a lawyer, I think Father Philippe can talk a little bit more about him because he is the author of this book. And also I have a devotion for, of course, St. Aloysius Gonzaga.
Sure.
He was very present during my my youth.
Yeah, he's a very well-known saint, whereas St. Yves, not so much. So, Father Roche, tell us a little bit about St. Yves.
Much more well-known than St. Yves. I think St. Yves is the patron saint, the official patron saint of lawyers and judges. It's not St. Thomas More. St. Thomas More is the patron saint of statesmen and politicians, which he deserves very much, of course. But he was born 2 centuries before St. Thomas, so he was the patron saint of St. Thomas. And I'm sure St. Thomas knew him because he was canonized only 40 years after his death, which is very rare. And so at that moment, England and Britain were very linked, and for sure St. Thomas knew the existence of St. Yves, who was very popular at that time in Brittany. And he was a lawyer. He became a priest, and he was appointed as a judicial vicar in his diocese. And at that time, it was a very important job because he was in charge of many problems in the civil societies, economical problems including.
Yeah, it was a different time than the church.
Different time. And the judge of the bishop was supposed to be more just and equitable than the justice of the lords and even the king.
Than the civil authorities. Sure. So tell us what made you write this book, and clearly your preface is written by someone familiar to us here in the Archdiocese of Boston, and certainly in the church worldwide, Cardinal Sean O'Malley. So tell us a little bit about what made you decide to write a book.
Actually, Cardinal O'Malley was very kind because he accepted immediately to sign the preface. I told him, because of course you're infinitely much more known than me, so it will show the importance of the book. The idea is we are living in a very poor neighborhood, in a favela slum, very violent in Brazil, right in the middle of the weapon and drug traffic. They are shot every week. They are, in 5 years, 18 people were shot in our neighborhood. The last one in front of the house. I was not there, Father Chang was there, and it was a bath of blood in front of the house. It was awful. And we tried to give a testimony, an example of religious life, of prayer, to invite for peace, for a different life, open different perspectives for especially for the young. But all this cost a bit of money. We have a school of music, classical music, to question the influence of rap and hard rock and funk, etc. There is a group of mentally disabled people. There are many in the neighborhood, and it's necessary to reshape the rooms. They cannot enter the room. We have to carry the wheelchairs. The restroom is not accessible for them, etc. We have a course of knitting and cooking. We don't do the course. we have
but you're French.
Yes, but for knitting, no. So it doesn't cost a lot, but we put false glass painted windows in the chapel. We built a bell tower in the street to mark the place of the Catholic Church, because there are 6 evangelical churches in the same streets.
You need to be a presence in the
So,
public
yes,
square.
to show that, especially to show that the Catholic Church is at the service of the poor
Right.
and the poorest, and
Yes.
not only in the center of the city.
Right.
It should be in the center also, but and all that cost a bit. And so we had an idea, but why not writing a little book about something we know?
Right.
St. Yves was a subject I knew. To sell the book and to make the saint well known, and it works very well.
Great. It's an important story, and clearly you serve both the spiritual and the corporal needs of the people in your community. And what a great way for all of us to learn about it. We're out of time here, but it's an amazing witness of what the church can do with a little book and reaching out to people for their basic needs through the beauty of the faith. So thanks so much for taking time to be with us,
You
and
too.
thanks for being in the
thanks.
Archdiocese. So be sure and check out this book. Both fathers will be traveling to different parishes in the Archdiocese of Boston. You do that a few times throughout the course of the year. So thank you for being with us, and now back to the rest of This Is the Day.